Dear Future Enoch, in last week's video, I linked to 2 unlisted videos at the very end. One was just an unimpressive shot of a GO train passing by, but one was about me coming across a word that was stapled onto track ties. And when I read it out, it spelled Wonscotonach. You can watch that video right over there. Anyways, I was curious to know what that word meant, so I did a quick Google search on my phone right there. The word Wonscotonach is the original Anishinaabe name for the Don River, and it roughly translates to bright burning point. Later, when I got home, I dug deeper into the word and learned about the conservation efforts in the Don Valley, an area that has historically had a bad reputation for pollution, which brought me to this. The Wonscotonach Trail, an attempt to convert the old CP tracks into an urban green trail, versus Metrolinx's plan to use it as a train storage yard. 3 trains. Diesel trains? In a floodplain? Balancing the need for green space and public transit in the city is gonna be hard because a city needs both. A lot of both. But if you want my quick opinion, I think that the train track should be turned into a trail and that the train storage yard should be built elsewhere. But even though this is an important topic, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm more fascinated about the fact that I learned something new entirely by chance. Well, not exactly by chance. I did make a conscious decision. On the day I went, I had a day off from work, and rather than spend an unproductive day at home, I decided to go back to the train tracks that I visited in April. Mostly because you can't see everything on your first trip, so you have to go multiple times. And it was a good call because that word wasn't on the tracks the last time I visited. The letters caught my attention, which then led me to spell it out into a word, which then led me to look up the word, which then led me to learn the original name of the river, the attempts at turning those unused train tracks into an urban trail, and Metrolinx's conflicting plans to build a train storage facility. That's sort of the amazing thing about life. You often learn without really knowing it. School can teach you a lot of things, but it can't teach you everything. And in fact, the most important aspect about learning is not about going to school, it's about having the right attitude. An attitude of curiosity, of interest, of being willing to learn more. And also a willingness to get out there. So my advice to my future self, and anyone else who is listening, is to first get out of the house, which is easy or hard enough for some people. Pay attention to your surroundings, and then ask the right questions. Questions that seek to know more. Questions that don't just ask what, but why. Stay curious. Positively curious. Future Enoch, I'll see you next week.